The hangar was silent, except for the faint ticking of cooling metal. A colossal fighter jet sat in the center, its sleek frame scarred from combat, its engine lifeless, as though the heart of a warrior had stopped beating. Dozens of mechanics and engineers had tried and failed to bring it back to life. Millions of dollars worth of equipment surrounded it, yet nothing worked. Then, a challenge rang out, sharp and desperate: if anyone can fix this jet in the next 24 hours, I'll give you $2 million. The voice belonged to General Mark Donovan, a battle-hardened leader in his 50s, whose gray eyes betrayed both frustration and fear. The jet wasn't just any machine, it was the Air Force's crown jewel, an advanced prototype worth billions, designed to give them an edge in the skies. And now, with an international demonstration only days away, it lay broken, a heap of steel and silence. No one in the hangar spoke. Mechanics avoided the general's gaze, engineers shook their heads. The machine was too advanced, too temperamental. Everyone thought it was impossible. Everyone except her. From the corner of the room, a young woman stepped forward. She was only 27, with oil-stained coveralls and hair tied in a messy bun. Her name was Elena Torres, and she wasn't even supposed to be there. She was just a civilian contractor, often dismissed as too young, too inexperienced by the older engineers. Yet she had something they didn't: an instinct for machines, a gift that allowed her to feel the soul of engines the way a musician feels the strings of a violin. The general eyed her skeptically. "You think you can fix what my best men couldn't?" Elena swallowed hard, but her voice was steady. "I can't promise, sir. But I can try." The room erupted in murmurs, half disbelief, half ridicule. But Donovan, backed into a corner by deadlines and pressure from the top, gave her a nod. "You've got 24 hours. Fail, and you walk away. Succeed." He paused, his voice echoing in the cavernous hangar. $2 million is yours. The challenge begins. Elena climbed into the jet's cockpit, her hands trembling slightly as she ran her fingers over the controls. The scent of scorched wiring and hydraulic fluid filled her senses. She closed her eyes and listened. Most people heard silence. Elena heard whispers, the hum of circuits, the pulse of a machine crying out for healing. Her first challenge was psychological. Every engineer around her doubted her. Whispers filled the hangar: "She's wasting our time. A rookie can't fix this monster." But Elena pushed the voices out of her mind. She wasn't here to prove them wrong. She was here because something inside her told her this jet wanted to fly again. Hours passed as she dismantled panels, traced wiring, and studied the massive engine. Sweat dripped from her forehead, her hands blackened with grease. She discovered the problem wasn't just mechanical, it was electronic. The central control system was fried, a rare kind of failure that only someone with deep intuition could recognize. But fixing it would take more than knowledge. It would take courage. Flashback: why she was here. As Elena worked, her mind drifted back to her childhood. Her father, Miguel Torres, had been an aircraft mechanic in the Air Force. He used to bring her to the base when she was little, letting her sit in old cockpits while he worked. He'd tell her, "Every machine has a heartbeat, Mija. If you listen closely enough, you can hear it." But Miguel died in an accident when Elena was only 16. The Air Force called it mechanical failure. She called it negligence. Since then, she had sworn to carry her father's legacy, to never let another pilot's life depend on a machine left broken. This wasn't just about $2 million. This was about her father. Obstacles in the hangar. Not everyone supported her. Colonel Briggs, a seasoned engineer, scoffed at her methods. "You're poking around like a child playing with toys," he sneered. "This isn't a car engine, it's a billion-dollar war machine. Leave it to the professionals." But Donovan silenced him. "She's the only one working, Colonel. Unless you'd like to step up?" Briggs gritted his teeth and backed away, but Elena knew he'd sabotage her if given the chance. She worked with both caution and urgency, ignoring his condescending stares. At 2 a.m., exhaustion set in. Her vision blurred, her hands shook. She hadn't eaten all day, hadn't slept the night before. Doubt crept in: maybe she wasn't good enough. Maybe this machine was too advanced, too damaged. But then she saw it, a hairline crack in a circuit board, invisible to the naked eye unless you knew where to look. It was tiny, almost laughable, yet catastrophic enough to shut the whole system down. She smiled faintly through her exhaustion. Found you. The genius breakthrough. With trembling hands, she built a custom bypass using scraps of wire and microchips scavenged from other equipment. Her solution wasn't standard, it wasn't in any manual, but it was elegant, efficient, and brilliant. When she powered up the system, the jet hummed softly, lights flickering back to life. Gasps echoed through the hangar. The beast was waking up. But her challenge wasn't over. The final test was the engine. If it failed, the entire system would collapse again. Elena tightened the last bolt, wiped her hands, and climbed out of the cockpit. Ready, she said quietly. Donovan signaled the crew. The hangar filled with tense silence as they pressed the ignition. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a roar that shook the ground, the fighter jet's engines thundered to life. Flames spat from the exhaust, the machine vibrating with raw power. The jet was alive again. The aftermath. The crew erupted into cheers. Mechanics clapped, engineers stared in disbelief, and even Colonel Briggs stood speechless. Donovan approached Elena, his weathered face softening with admiration. You did it, he said, almost whispering. Then louder, $2 million, just like I promised. But Elena shook her head. I didn't do this for money, sir. I did it because machines like this, they carry lives. My father died because one wasn't fixed in time. I swore I'd never let that happen again. The general's eyes glistened. He saluted her, not as a mechanic, but as a soldier of a different kind. Your father would be proud. The inspiring message. Elena didn't just fix a machine. She restored faith that determination, passion, and courage could achieve the impossible. She proved that genius doesn't always wear a uniform or carry a title. Sometimes, it comes in the form of a young woman with grease on her hands and fire in her heart. And in that hangar, beneath the roar of a jet reborn, even the Air Force was left speechless. Closing call to action. Friends, if this story moved you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What would you have done if you were in Elena's place? Would you have stepped forward when everyone else doubted you? Share your feelings in the comments below, because your voice matters here. And if you enjoy stories of courage, resilience, and the human spirit, don't forget to like this video, share it with others, and most importantly, subscribe to Be Kind Always for more powerful stories that inspire hope and strength. Remember, no matter how impossible something seems, if you believe in yourself, you can bring even the silent back to life.